My story takes place in the mid to late 90s. Couldn't quite remember. It's been a long time ago, but it's back before there was serious internet. And I was a brand new dad and husband. When I married my wife, Kim the wife, I became the father of 4 children immediately with no instructions or experience. But hey, you might as well jump right in there. So the year before, in the mail, the kind that comes paper-wise, I got a flyer from College of the Atlantic in Maine, and they had a program for teachers and their families. Well, I was a teacher, and I had a family, and you could spend a week on their campus and do all kinds of activities and go to learn things about things that live in the ocean and in the Maine woods. So we decided we're going to go on our first vacation as a family to Maine, and we were going to drive up there. So the time's approaching, and the week before the trip, our 1989 Dodge Grand Caravan, complete with the wood siding on it, the transmission went out in it. So we take it to get the transmission fixed because we needed to use the van to transport 4 kids and 2 adults to Maine. So the transmission gets rebuilt, and I go to pick it up a day before we're ready to leave. And the mechanic tells me how much it is, and I start writing out a check. He goes, "I don't take checks." I said, "Well, I don't have that kind of cash in my pocket." He goes, "Well, you can't guarantee that check is good." I said, "You told me you can't guarantee the transmission is good. So we're going to have to trust each other." He agreed. He said, "I guess we're going to have to." So he took the check, and it was good. But we took the van, we packed it, and the next morning we rolled out. Now, rolling out for trips with the kids, we always had one that had the last minute pee. Everybody's in the van, and somebody says, "I got to pee." All right. So we're on hold for another 10 minutes. Then we finally get started. We're going to Maine. And this is over the July 4th holiday weekend. And I'm used to traveling as a single man. No plans, no problem. We'll make it work. Well, that's how we left. No plans, no problem. We're driving to Maine. We have nowhere to camp on the first night. And I'm telling Kim, the wife, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll find a place, a state park somewhere in Connecticut, Massachusetts." We stopped at every state park on the way up. Nobody had room. It was dark. We still didn't eat dinner yet, and it was raining. We had dinner ready. Everything was prepared and wrapped in aluminum foil. All we had to do was start a fire with the charcoal that we brought, and we could make dinner. But it was raining. I think I already said that. And we got that charcoal lit. We cooked our dinner over this charcoal that was barely burning, ate it in and out of the van because it was raining. We still had no place to sleep. So we got back in the van and we drove more. We couldn't find anywhere to sleep. So we slept at a rest stop. That has to be by far the worst night's sleep I've ever gotten. There's people walking beside the van. It's not comfortable because there's 6 of us in it. It's summertime, and it's always humid on the East Coast. But we get through it. The next day we're off, and our next stop is York, Maine. And we get there, we set up our tents. We have a campground there. We set up our tents, and our oldest son and I, we go running for the beach. And this beach was different than any beach we've ever seen. It had rocks on it, but we scamper across the round rocks, and we hit that water. I think both of us probably flew out of the water as fast as we flew into it. I swear that water was 50 degrees. Nobody told us it was going to be cold. Both of our voices went up a couple notches. And some other things happened too that I don't want to discuss in public, but stop laughing at me. But York, Maine was really cool. I remember we were camping beside a guy that had an old VW bus that he converted to a camper. It was really neat. Well, one of the kids, and they were young elementary school kids, I don't know, was so excited. Somebody peed their pants at night and filled the tent up with pee. So we had to go to the laundromat and clean things up before we got back on the road the next day. Um, but we got everything cleaned up. Off to the College of Atlantic we went, and it was awesome. We went on a whale watch, and usually those things are a bust, but one of the whales came up right beside the boat and blew water out of its blowhole and covered the kids with whale snot. What more could you want? We saw beavers, and in the bus to go see the beavers, two obnoxious middle school kids were sitting behind Kim and I going, beaver, beaverama. The whole trip, beaver, beaverama. And I have no idea what they were referring to. Actually, I do. I get embarrassed easily. But our trip went great. The food was awesome. The trip home was totally uneventful, which Kim, the wife, and I were actually very thankful for, because the trip there was quite eventful.